produced by Burmese Ghouls. Benedetta of Psycho is still not gonna make it through.
Yep, no differences there, and I think at this point in time, RRQ might be considering to get rid of the Sylvana here, and instead they actually opt to go for the Selena. Now, Burmese Ghouls, the question is, Brody or nada?
Oh, tough pick, and you know what? Like, Sylvana pretty much available for either sides to pick up as well, so...
yeah.
Oh,
RQ Hoshi won't think twice about it.
Oh, for sure.
They're one team who really just wants they really just want their tank to have a good time, Psycho to have a good time.
So yeah, it's a big responsibility for the Burmese Ghouls here. And given that their Diggy has been taken away, they still have quite a long way to create a lineup that works for them so far. And it's going to be a Matilda. So yeah, they're just saying, okay, open season, go ahead, make my day. You pick up the Brody, you pick up the Sylvana, I'll get what's left.
Ooh.
got Lapu Lapu, you've got, you know, all these sort of picks. We sometimes talk about the Giant. Here makes sense for the Brody well, not Esmeralda. That's the first thing that they took out.
Lapu and Brody is probably going to be
Lapu
the
Brody.
Yeah, put respect on it.
Jawhead Brody.
Jawhead Brody even is a pretty good shout, but I mean, you know, considering how much they don't like Lemon being on Lapu to begin with, like, I feel like the Burmese Ghouls are going to take it. Lapu Brody is probably going to be my prediction for this one.
And looking at it, RQ Hoshi, looking at their faces, their interactions, they're more lively right now. And it seems like they figured out a decade-old question or a decade-old riddle that they just, you know, they're celebrating right now.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
Gideon reading it like a book. Man, over on to the side of RQ Hoshi. What can they pick up? And it really is quite a sigh of relief when you figure out the answer to that riddle, right? Like, what never dies and is annoying and round? Diggy, just ban it out. Like, oh.
I guess what's annoying and round in the past game was also the Akai, you know?
Yeah.
In a certain way, but that's definitely not going to be seeing any sort of bans. And I'm looking at the Yishin Shin that was also something that we didn't shout about during the first phase of the bans itself, makes its way in. And at first I want to call for the 1-1, but this definitely looks a lot better. Now, back to Cho.
R7.
R7's Cho. This is a fighter Cho.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if Burmese Ghouls decide to go for Jawhead at this point in time. I mean, it's a pretty good shout here. It does the job. It's a great flex pick, and not to mention that it absolutely just shuts down Yishin Shin if it gets close enough. So, gotta be careful there.
Burmese Ghouls, they go for an Atlas.
Wow!
Okay, this definitely changed the tempo of the game right now because one great Fatal Links connecting down towards Savannah or even, you know, Albert right there.
All right,
Oh,
Butters, you
it's
seem
a
to
slam
be
dunk.
trying to figure something out.
Then again, it's a counter for some marksmen, but I don't think it's going to work against a Yishin Shin. Yishin Shin has this way to actually just get out of that with the traceless, but Brody is just... I think this is a deny pick.
Right. Saving them the trouble.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword. It's hitting two birds with one stone. But what Burmese Ghouls are trying here. But yeah, I think they're gonna make the most of this odd Atlas with their mid choice. They're gonna get a good hero on to your boy Kid here. So we'll see. Banning now. That's gonna be Luo Yi for BG, RRQ, Hoshi getting rid of the Farsa. Oh, I think they're both on the same page.
I think BG is going to ban out 1-1 here.
That's a possibility.
They should actually go for it. This is something that RQ has been doing for so many times.
On
They're
a
not
roll.
gonna let them get away with this.
On a roll, my guy.
Well, Gideon has been very observant on the first four drafts, and right now you can just paint a clear picture of what this team wants.
I mean, I could get a general idea, but again, like things like Atlas here, for me, it's Burmese Ghouls trying to think out of the box, to try a different style to try to catch RRQ off guard. And, you know, RRQ, they ban out the Claude here, very understandable to ensure that, you know, if 1-1 is gone, expect Claude to also get axed as well.
Yeah, and speaking of which, now let's see what sort of mages do we have on the table, because I'm seeing two potentials here. They have gone for Lunox, and also Harith is a possibility,
Yep.
which I definitely think it's looking pretty solid if they want to go for it.
I would probably lock in the Harith here. Like, just me personally.
Alice is still out there though. Alice from the side lanes. That's
Yeah.
that's
what's
true.
happening for the Burmese Ghouls, because that's going to be the Brody going to the jungle for Ace. So let's see.
And they go for a Harith.
Harith's easier, I guess. Harith's safer.
I
Harith's
guess.
safer.
I mean, yeah, Harith is safer, and you know, we did see the performance earlier of the Alice, where you know RQ just locked in the Akai, and I think that's what they're afraid of.
Yeah, Ruby DD wants a change of pace, and I guess with the Fatal Links, you want them to go into a place wherein it's all for you, right? So yeah, Zaman Force is gonna pay dividends. Now RQ Hoshi locking in their final heroes for his life.
Oh boy!
And this is an answer to the Harith.
Oh, wow.
Vincitar.
And it's they're like playing chess.
Straight up.
Remember this, Lemon has pulled this up before. Is this gonna go on towards Lemon's answer or what? Because we're also seeing a combo, an ultra lockdown that they are trying to set up with Magura coming in.
This is the rock to the Burmese Ghoul scissors. Literally, just
Wait, guys. Natalia has just arrived.
Last
Finally.
Natalia.
You know what? I'm surprised that she only got picked at the second phase of this. And I think it's an answer probably to a Kagura and a Sylvana just to stop them from initiating properly.
Yeah, no, more importantly, just to punish like the fact that Mincetar is on board. As long as he doesn't get the King's Calling down, no matter how good that perfect match in Fatal Links is going to be, this is just a great disengage mechanic for the team. Oh, we get caught out, King's Calling, back away, we're gonna be A-okay.
Both of the teams have their own flavor, have their own style in terms of drafting. RQ Hoshi versus Burmese Ghouls. This is the upper bracket finals. This is a best of 5, and this is game number 5 of the series.
And
Boys, what do you think? Mincetar or Atlas?
Mincetar or Atlas? Two oddballs to choose from here, and I honestly want to see a successful Mincetar, but the success rate for Atlas to pull off great Fatal Links is even higher.
Yo,
for composition.
you got the King from the King of Kings. That's on me.
Oh, I will leave you guys with that question, and please take the floor. Go cast the game.
Thanks, Butters. And once again, let's see how this is going to play out here, because we know that the Burmese Ghouls want to just snowball out of control. And so far, they've been struggling to do that against RRQ Hoshi, who's been able to play very defensively and punish the mistakes of the Burmese Ghouls whenever necessary. And so again, let's see how these first turtles go about.
Yeah, that's a very fast 3-man clear coming from the side of RQ Hoshi, and now on towards Little Wanderer. You can also see a little bit of the tussle, but obviously RQ has been able to snatch that Little Wanderer away, and towards the purple buff we go, but over on towards the side lanes here.
I love it. It's the gentleman's cut, I'd like to call it, because look, up top is going into BR7, and then down bottom it's going to be D. They just understand that the other's going to do the same. So now Kid trying to look for a nice pick-off. Here now we see in the debut of Natalia at the playoffs, we want to see if it's worth it, the investment.
I mean, that's not just all the Mincetar, especially on Lemon. It's like, you know, we see him play it once or twice, especially in MPL Indonesia, but like bringing it out on the world stage, this has occurred multiple times, and that's what Lemon brings to the table, just the unpredictableness and how deep his pockets really are.
Yeah, and of course, reaching deep in, do they have that coin? And speaking of which, have 2 coins. Hopefully you guys did predict correctly on this best of 5.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, Vin attempting the steal, but Ace secures it nonetheless. Still no first blood here. About to approach a 2-minute mark. That means Turtle is imminent. It is nigh. And down bottom, that is a forced retreat on to Maybe, and Psycho cutting the lane up top.
Now Ace does arrive to the scene, but looking at the situation where they don't really have the elements available, RQ retreats, and definitely don't want to underestimate what Ace could do at that moment.
Oh!
This is where we start our first blood with Kid unleashing what he's got.
Yeah, just baiting R7 out into this fight. Now, Vin getting a good yin-yang overturn. However, I mean, Turtle is half in D. He just wants to get this over with. Now, Vin, he's running out of mana to actually pull this off, and pulling in back into his jungle is the safest bet. But don't forget, Kid is going to hit level 4.
Here's the trademark BG move. First Turtle, very, very important to have Ace hit the ground running. It's as safe as it gets. R7 just, you know, being a thorn on the side of D here. Nice Mount Shocker, just checking where everyone is. Albert looking low. Kid trying to get caught out by the King's Calling, and he gets out of there. Ooh, I think he's going to run out of options. Nice dash through the wall, but Traceless gets him down nonetheless.
Oh, R7 getting a good way of the dragon onto that Lapu here. Is he actually winning this matchup? Oh, no, it's going to be the big bait, but R7, he's got the game sense. You don't go in with that much life for no reason, but he still walks up anyway.
Flicker in time, and you can definitely see that they have already popped what they could. And R7, he's trying to control to his best of abilities, but at the moment, Hoshi is going for some great invades in response. Sam Force.
BDD getting some good damage, but let's see where it goes from here, because again, it's about Burmese Ghouls pushing their lead. RRQ still ahead by 1K, even though Burmese Ghouls did take the turtle. How is Kid going to force this agenda and really get the ball rolling, bowling against RRQ Hoshi?
Ooh, so far, I don't think they need to force anything, because this is great positioning by Burmese Ghouls. They're setting up. Nice catch, purified here by Vin, but the damage is real. D takes him down, and R7 juggling the aggression back and forth.
Oh!
D comes in, R7 bites it.
What an opening, and well, I definitely feel like Vin doesn't have to push the issue right there, but maybe Suki whatever he can. It's gonna be an exchange here for the Sylvana. Have to see he's being bought by Lemon, but here comes Kid.
Oh, Kid, he's doing a really good job here. He's dropped out the smoke screen, and now BDD, this is his cleanup time. Burmese Ghouls playing off of a huge snowball. He gets Lemon with the last hit of the Chrono Dash and starts pulling backwards. This is huge for the Burmese Ghouls. They were able to get so much gold off of this.
Yeah, 2 for 1 here, and you're giving out Kid. I think Kid understood the fact that given how much firepower RQ Hoshi's packing, a lot of the things he's gonna do is gonna affect the other part of the map. But if it immediately trades for, if it immediately results in a trade that is valuable and that is beneficial to Burmese Ghouls, by all means now, oh, Kid faces R7 here.
Yeah, and back towards what you just mentioned there, Albert being picked up, he cannot afford to go down once again, especially in this early phases where Burmese Ghouls is just going to take every sort of objective that we can get. This turtle definitely going in favor of Burmese Ghouls for a moment, and Psycho, he can only watch as it falls, while R7 not really getting himself back in towards that form where, oh, this fighter chose is going to be able to put so much great effect in the early game.
Oh boy, R7, he doesn't get caught luckily, but he actually flickers in and finds a King onto Bloody, but the counterplay coming in from Maybe, the perfect match! Oh my goodness, RRQ hit back and they hit back hard! No, you can't overturn, but the Umbrella Open was going to be just enough to trade 1-for-1 Vin for Ace. So worth it for RRQ.
Just a perfect counter right there, the Fatal Links disconnecting the way of the dragon, pulling him. It's like the mind's telling you, yeah, I want to go for it, but the body is being taken all the way back.
Interesting move here by Burmese Ghouls. They're patient, letting the turret be taken down, and now they want revenge. Here comes the cavalry. That's Psycho destroyed by BDD, and Albert might be next. A little bit of a silence in here, put in by Kid, and he finished the job. Albert is taken down in Vin, a little too late to the party.
R7 could still actually help Vin out in this sort of scenario here, but will they cancel the recall? Looks likely that it's going to be a no. But over the mid side, Burmese Ghouls going to be opening up the map. Fatal Links once again on towards Lemon, and Vin will be looking for a shutdown on towards Maybe. And Lemon
Oh, it's like you remember that really dumb thing you said 15 years ago. That's what happened to Vin, torn apart by Ace, the Burmese Python.
Oh my goodness, what a catch that was. And that's great because now Burmese Ghouls, they need to start pushing their agenda. 15 more seconds until the turtle comes back up. But they're up by a tower, finally, 5-9 against RRQ Hoshi.
This is the biggest lead that they've got throughout this entirety of the game. Not only in terms of the kills, let's look at the goal. Yep, 1,000, but hey, it means a lot when you're facing against this RRQ side and you're taking every single one of these turtles. So you're going to be having that item so much sooner than what RRQ's Alberts has at the moment.
Looking at the items here, the most developed, relatively speaking, for the side of RRQ Hoshi would, you know, still be Albert, but it's interesting to note how much Lemon is also making up, right? Like, that's very close, 4,700 to 4,700.
And we also have the kill site on the side of Ruby DD, so... well, things are just going to get tougher for R7 right here.
Oh no, even with the smoke screen, it's not going to be enough. He does get a good Shinpo in time, but Psycho, he's under a lot of firepower and scrutiny from the rest of the Burmese Ghouls. And you know, speaking of which, don't forget on D. D is actually almost matching Ruby DD in gold.
Yep, and he's looking good, 2-0-2. This Lapu Lapu has not died so far in this 8-minute bout so far, and he's just going to go down, try to answer Lemon on that Mincitar, which, by the way, Mincitar, Lemon, he should be finding more duels, because if not, High and Dry is not doing a lot of work.
Yeah, and looks like they want to go in for this catch flicker coming up from the side of maybe this Patches, and will be getting himself back in towards safety. But look at R7 buying a lot of time with a little bit of a home run all across the land of Dawn. But Burmese Ghouls is going to be having their plans on their own with D in position.
He's going to get kicked for sure. He's going to get hit by the way of the dragon. Oh no, he doesn't even bother going into the brush side. Burmese Ghouls, at least they have a good idea, but they can start stealing the orange buff, this Soul of Lava, away from RRQ.
Yep, and it's an easy take. The rest of the map for the past, what, 2 minutes? Burmese Ghouls have been working on making this kind of space so that the next big attack that they do will be beneficial to them. They know this much that R7 is going to try to get away, so they'll try to cordon off as much of the map towards them, make it as red as possible, so that even if they do spend some time going for the chase, at least waves are crashing in.
Yeah, Blade of Despair now being a big purchase for Ace.
Woo!
Lord is right now just on your screens, and both sides ready to take note of that. The Natalia, let's talk about this Natalia, because it's definitely pulling some great effects on Burmese Ghouls' successive picks.
Yeah, a workhorse, definitely. Kid here with the execute, and again, the high and dry. I think he's able to make the most of it, because again, he can just track people. He can just shadow them and let everyone know, because yeah, Albert has Mountain Shocker like that, just checking in on it. They go on a cycle. Nice fatal links onto one. That's going to be the flicker used up. Torn apart memory, expended by Ace, but there's not enough stacks. Wave the dragon going up.
OD gets exploded into pieces, and you can see the double going in favor of R7. They're still looking for more right now, but just look at Ruby DD. How much can he take? R7 still looking for the right timing, and we might just actually find a little bit of the exit grounds right here, because Lemon as well as Albert did not exactly in position.
Unfortunate indeed, and I was considering why didn't R7 decide to go in a little bit earlier, especially when Psycho came in with the Imperial Justice. Then I noticed R7 already used the Way of the Dragon, so there's no point, because he even if he did get on top of Ace with the third hit of the G Kundo, that big knock-up, yeah, that's great, but you don't have the follow-up, so you just end up being a sitting duck.
Yep, that was a trade that I think Burmese Ghouls won in the long run. Again, it's because it's an unfortunate event, like series of events, as you did note. Looking at the items real quick, just barely 1,000 gold ahead is the Burmese Ghouls, and looking at their most developed character here, hero, it's definitely going to be Ace. He's building up towards a defensive item. Looks like it might be an immortality early on. He knows how dangerous he is, and he knows how badly RRQ Hoshi wants to take him down.
Yeah, speaking of which, we do see some very aggressive plays coming from the side of maybe. He does have Flicker, and definitely he's looking for that chain where he just Flicker as well as link them in towards the teammates, but Vin is definitely not going to be falling into the stab line. Over here, it's going to be the Weird Dragon here, getting the pick on towards Ruby DD. And Burmese Ghouls, they lose a lot of damage in this sort of skirmish. Kid has to back away. This is not the fight that they're looking for, and D is trying to set this one up.
That was a free take onto Ruby DD. No consequences at all. Maybe Vin, but I think they had that under control anyways. And here's a nice split push by R7.
Yeah, I gotta say that R7 finally getting that room to do what he does best. Going for a split push. So many of all these endless battles coming right in. And here comes the team fight. They're catching on towards Albert. This might just be the pick that they need. Deed does get that kill. And now over on towards Lemon, running for his life. Kid easily gets him killed off. Perfect assassination coming from the Nada.
2-for-1 trade-off, and RubyDD is back up, and he should be on his way after clearing down bot side. He's running down towards mid to hopefully change up this fight, as RRQ have to wait 20 more seconds to get and even try to contest this Lord. So Burmese Ghouls will get this Lord, and the power play will come into effect.
It's free. This is Luminous Lord. Kid gets blasted down by Vin. Interesting. Might have been for shock value. Psycho did have to use the Imperial Justice there. And hold up, they do have the Retribution advantage. Let's see if there's going to be a tragic loss now. Fatal Links spells the end for Vin, and Psycho gets away, but not so much for R7.
And even Ace gets to live to tell the tale. This is looking so bad for Hoshi. They don't have the Retribution because Albert is down, and they might have actually given that away and just waits for another sort of a pick there. And Burmese Ghouls, they are now pretty much establishing not only map control, just look at the goal lead, just swinging in abundance.
Yep, they are very happy with their current position right now, but can they get more as the Burmese Ghouls with 3K ahead? They want to catch them out. Oh, Lemon! He finds the King's Calling, but again, this catch isn't looking good for the Fatal Links. Albert not in position. He gets absolutely blasted by the Brody. They can't stop it. Fatal Links again. Say hello to my perfect match here, as now Burmese Ghouls, have they done it? This is the big pick. They've killed 4, and they are pushing through to end this best of 5. Will come home as the Burmese Ghouls, GG, well played, take out RRQ and send them to the lower brackets.
They have done the unthinkable, and now they make history. The first Myanmar team to make it and towards the grand finals of the M2 World Championship 2020. They've waited for so long.
Lord knows how long ago in this series we said that the Burmese Ghouls are aiming to become catalysts of change. And boy, oh boy, have the tables turned. This is a new age. Burmese Mobile Legends is the standard, ladies and gentlemen. They are waiting in the grand finals, and it's up to 2 Indonesian teams and 1 Filipino team to rise up and challenge their claim.
In all honesty, we've been saying that the Burmese Ghouls has been slowly and surely getting a lot of experience. They've been there for MSC. They've been there for M1. They were there at MPLI. Now, with all the experience that they got facing these kinds of, or these international teams, right now, it's their time. And they are in the grand finals for M2 World Championship.
I mean, this is huge. This is making history, especially for Myanmar esports and more so their Mobile Legends community here, as they have broken into the grand finals. Who would have expected them to make it this far, and in such a fashion as well?
Yeah, and if you just take a glimpse onwards that, folk, these players have been there since the get-go throughout all these tournaments that you have mentioned, and finally writing a new chapter and like just close that one off with a big title under their belt.
And this is where it gets interesting, because the Philippines and 2 Indonesian teams are now in the lower bracket, and as you can see, we went the distance with this. Burmese Ghouls just gonna stand by and watch the contenders of for the M2 World Championship title.
I think more so when you say contenders here, literally any one of these top 4s have the standard that we've been looking for here at M2, and right now it's just whether or not the Philippines can actually start pushing through against 2 Indonesian teams back to back to meet Burmese Ghouls at the very end. And for Indonesia, it's who wants to be the representative at the end of the day.
I don't know, man. I'm just excited to have this broken down, because that game felt like a fight, like a brawl. And if anything, it's our analysts who can break down the details and let us know what exactly went down.
Analysts, take it away.
Well, thank you so much, casters. Back here at the analyst stage with Wolf and Lavelle, your analysts breaking down that game number 5 and that 5-game series between the Burmese Ghouls from Myanmar and RRQ Hoshi from Indonesia. I did not expect that to go that deep, man.
Yeah, and before we move forward, I have to say thank you to the casters. They casted their heart out. I can see that they're all very, very tired and they deserve a break. But either way, it's looking at the game, right? Even though, yes, we're analysts, we can point out things. We can point out, oh, he did this good, he did that good. But in this kind of context, it was like a best of one. And honestly, it was a brawl of mechanics where both of these teams are using the hero to the utmost ability, where there were not that many mistakes, in my opinion, and it's mostly just outplays.
And we were talking about how teams should be creative in a 5-game series, and it's kind of weird for me to see Hoshi put up the Minsithar. It made sense. Don't get me wrong, but unfortunately, only the ultimate was the counter the heroes of Burmese Ghouls. Let's talk about that later as we tackle the highlights, man.
Yeah, right now we're gonna look at the highlights for all the plays that has been happening throughout the game. And the thing that I want people to see is the team fights between Burmese Ghoul as well as RQ Hoshi, especially maybe on that Atlas, setting up for his team, as well as D, always going to the back lines and making sure he gets the correct target.
I think that this is really a good tell on how coordinated Burmese Ghouls are. Like Rupi DT jumping here just to go after Arkeosia have already expended their skill shots. Burmese Ghouls was able to win it for sure.
Yeah, and the thing is, Burmese Ghoul, they are a team fight based team.
This is perfect, by the
pause
way.
here, where again, this is why I say this is a game of mechanics where we've seen many times. I even told tank players that you guys should have stopped the way of the dragon, because now it is stoppable. It's no longer a perfect going through. And we look at what Maybe has done, where he used the Fatal Link. It's like, oh, Fatal Link, you should wait for a lot of people to get into one place and then just do his ulti. But not necessarily the case. You can use it as a peeling tool for your teammate. Granted, his teammate still did die, but that is because Arkeoshi is just that good.
Yeah, I think that Burmese Ghouls still will win this particular clash, but do take note, that is a good trait of a very smart tank. You know how to utilize your ultimate so well.
Yeah, and the thing is, as I was saying before, Burmese Ghoul, they are a team fight based team where they try to win with all of their members in the Land of Dawn. They're not like a pick-come kind of situation. And over here as well, we have a pause over here, and it is not on the side of Burmese Ghoul, but it's actually on the side of R7, where something special that we have here, Wolf. We can hear the communication of the players.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, because they are shouting so loud. And in this situation, I just like how R7, he called this. He was like, I can get this guy. Come to me quick. I don't care who you have to mow down. Just come to me quick. And that is what Arki Hoshi did. And I like this kind of teamwork where they're just shouting so loud, and this kind of I would say coordination is very good, even to the point where R7 in this clip as well, if it shows, he wanted to get another kill, but his whole team's like, no, don't take the risk, come back, and that's what he did.
Coordination and communication. I think that the hosts asked us earlier if this will be a prelude to or a preview of the finals. Because of both teams' synchronization and coordination, it is much possible because they're so good when it comes to really team fighting, both of these teams.
Yep. And again, I will pause again here, and I'm very, very sorry to the producers, but the thing is, D over here, he always used his ulti to go to the back line. And as I think our casters have pointed out as well, Albert with the yes and shit, he really couldn't do much, but that's not his fault. He's always mowed down by D. D just like, I don't care what happens to me. I die. You have to die. And with that, Burmese Ghoul is actually disrupting RQ Hoshi's backline, making their main damage dealer not able to do anything. And just like you said, Lemon as well. He was more of a utility kind of pick to make sure no dashes are going through. So maybe he should have dropped his ulti on the backline instead of in the front line.
And we're going to be talking a lot about circles. Look at the green circles that's no longer available for RQ Hoshi. That's why Burmese Ghouls were just jumping into the fight. And again, outer circle versus inner circle, when it comes to clash, the outer circles almost automatically wins.
Yep, and in this situation, we just see Burmese Ghoul, they win the team fights time and time again. But I think it's just the basic of mechanics in terms of the team fight. Eliminate the most devastating target, and then after that, you just pick off one by one by one, or in some best case scenario, just eliminate them all at the same time.
I think this is like one of the best series if you to watch if you want to study how to peel in a MOBA, right?
Yeah.
Particularly in Mobile Legends, I think both Burmese Ghouls as well as Hoshi have shown us how to utilize that strategy so well so that they can win the team fights. And now we can see the item build for both teams.
Yeah, and we can see that Natalia, she does prioritize more of the damage with the Blade of Heptases as well as the Blade of Despair. And I think this is also part of their idea. It's either Kid or D. It doesn't matter who, as long as you guys can eliminate Yeast and Shin from the fight, it doesn't matter if they can't dash away, they will still be able to win. So I think this is the push that they were trying to get. And again, Burmese Ghoul, they work well with a full damage composition, but Atlas is the key to this victory. The setups, the peels. I mean, I would argue he's the only one that doesn't do damage, but I think he is the one that really enabled the team.
You have to take note, Burmese Ghouls in their core heroes, particularly Ruby Didi, going for that Dreadnought armor that's just perfect against all of the physical damage dealers coming out from Hoshi. If you're looking at their cores, it's the Mincetar, it's the Cho, it's the Yisen Shin, and all are stopped by the physical defense coming out from Burmese Ghouls. I don't like the fact that you are putting your you're kind of compromising your damage department by having this quote-unquote core Mincetar, which if you think about it, you just want to utilize his ultimate, right? There's so many questions I want to ask Hoshi, and probably the most questionable one is that why they picked the Mincetar.
Yeah, I mean, right now we are looking at the post-game stats. The rich guy will be going to D with 746 gold per second. The carry, 42,000 damage dealt. Ruby Didi, sandbag over to Psycho with 65,000 damage tanked. And the forgotten one, maybe with the 15 assists.
And this is such a big, how to say this, comparison. You see the Mincetar, you see the Lapu Lapu plus the Harith, and then the Cho plus the Mincetar. Just the damage output from both of these cores are so... It's night and day. Even the Atlas, as you're pointing out right now, almost dealt as much damage as the Mincetar. That is how you know that this is not a good pick. You're sacrificing so much of your potential as a team by drafting these weird heroes.
Yeah, and then doing it on 5th game,
That's right.
you know, if it was the first game or second game, completely understandable. Right now, we were looking at the MVP of the series, and is going to maybe the only guy that did not do damage, but the guy that made sure that all of his teams stay alive, as well as make sure his team get the kills.
0 kills, 15 assists in 13 minutes. And not only that, his usage of the ultimate. I think that many times we saw maybe with his fast and decisive usages of the ultimate, you don't really need to wait for the five of your opponents to do that, because obviously they will not group up. This is Hoshi, and we saw Atlas just even commit his ultimate onto one hero. The best, I would say, usage of his ultimate was in the middle, where there was a King's Calling for the Mincetar, and for them to get out of the King's Calling, he actually used his ultimate, right? The Fatal Links.
Yeah, and I really think that maybe is the unsung hero, because we have to remember the first 2 games that Burmese Ghoul won was because of his Diggy.
That's right.
And now the 5th game, they won because of his Atlas. We all look at the damage, but we always forget there's that one guy that enables everyone else.